Hello and welcome to our continued look back on 2020 and the track year that was, well, like no other. We, of course, had a bit of a condensed second half of the year. We saw some brilliant performances, and two men that are joining me today, well, saw their charges land some very impressive prizes. Ray Patterson, a man who's no stranger to success on the track, the man responsible for these Skywalker prefects. He's a Derby winner, an Oaks winner. He's won any competition worth winning, and this year he won the Juvenile Derby, I believe, for the second time. Would I be right in saying that, Ray?
Second time, yeah.
Second time with Skywalker Barry. He's a real prospect for next year. And another prospect for next year is Ballymac Beanie. And she is owned by renowned flat jockey Pat Dobbs, a man who is the same age as me, believe it or not. There's a matter of only a week or two between us. He definitely looks a bit fitter than I do. I'll hold my hands up and say that. Pat joining us from the sunny climes of Dubai. You're not the first man to join us from Dubai on these chats over the last few months, Pat. We spoke to Gary Hicks, who had a Derby finalist earlier in the year. He didn't have the success that you did. Ballymac Beanie, a special lady, gave you a thrill, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a massive night. It was. Obviously, I couldn't watch it live. Normally, I get on Talking Dogs, but you can't get on over here, so I had to rely on Twitter. Find out.
My heart breaks for you, over in the sunny climes of Dubai. Isn't it terrible that you have to watch your bitch winning the Oaks about 3 minutes after time? We're going to start the chats, lads. Listen, it was a strange year, but I suppose the fact that you had big winners really makes up for it. Ray, as I said earlier on, you're no strangers to success. You've had a Derby champion, you've had an Oaks winner, plenty of really top-class greyhounds, including Skywalker Logan, who retired this year. We must give him a mention. Skywalker Logan, one of the true stars of the track over the last 2 or 3 years. And I dare say you may own hundreds more greyhounds in the future, but few will give you the same satisfaction that Skywalker Logan did.
Few would give me more satisfaction than Skywalker Logan. And people only get one dog like that in a lifetime, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, we're talking now at the end of 20 or the start of 2021, and he's now retired. You made the decision to retire him. I suppose the time was right. He was approaching his 4th birthday, but he ended in style. He broke a track record in Limerick, winning the Cambridgeshire, over 750 yards. But of course, he had broken 28 seconds for 5.25. He was a top-class performer. He finished 3rd in an English Derby, won a Cesarewitch, won numerous stakes to his career. He's a hard one to replace.
Yeah, he's now instead with his trainer, Pat Guilford, who bred it, reared it, skilled it, trained it.
Yeah, and of course, as a son of a brood bitch of the year in the past, he's certainly bred for the job.
Definitely so, definitely. He's the grandson of Skywalker Puma.
Yeah, Skywalker Puma. That was your Derby winner, of course, a few years back. But we're here to talk about Skywalker Barry. You bought him after his first race at Kilkenny. What caught your eye? I know Brendan O'Neill does a lot of your brokering, and he was probably the one that made the phone call.
Yeah, I was in the field with the retired dogs. I got a telephone call from Brendan. He said, "Look, Ray, you got to buy this dog. It's going to be a top prospect." He contacted the owner. I bought it, and God, was he right?
Yeah, the rest, as they say, is history. Of course, he was a Blackstone dog, so obviously very, very well bred in himself. And I see the Kilzaggy Dam on the dam side. There's links to your part of the world, Newcastle, and the Kilzaggy boys.
Yeah, Ted Soppert at Newcastle. He raced Kawasaki Jan, so as you say, connections with Newcastle as well.
Yeah. Tell me this, Ray, you obviously didn't get across to Shelbourne Park for the final of Juvenile Derby. You were watching it. I suppose you were just hoping he'd hit the lids. Once he hit the lids, it was pretty much plain sailing.
I thought if it hit the lid, Ian, there wouldn't be many around that could catch it. I was watching it on Barking Buzz. Really annoyed I couldn't get over to watch it. First time I haven't been over to watch one of the big finals, but like a lot of people, it's one of those things.
Yeah, how's the pandemic treating you? You're obviously a busy man. You have a busy work life, but missing the track, I'd imagine.
I miss it terribly, Ian. I really do miss it. I miss my trips to Ireland as well, seeing the people there. Can't wait to after probably April when things may get back to a bit of normality again.
It certainly will. Well, let's just hope it's April. It'd be nice to think we'd be back on track by then. Tell me this, Ray. Of course, apart from Skywalker Barry to look forward to in 2021, you always have a nice dog around you. Have you bought any more nice prospects, or are you always on the lookout?
I've got a really nice bitchy and called Skywalker Silla. It ran Skywalker Barry to about 2 lengths at Shelbourne after it missed its break. I thought any bitch that can do that is something special. When it went to a mark to train it, it came in season shortly after, as most of them do when they change kennels, but it's out of season now. It trialled at Shelbourne on Saturday in 1863, and Barry trialled in 1865. So I think it's going to be a real top bitch this year.
Yeah, you're coming into a very hot period with bitches. Ireland has never seen such a top crop of ladies. We're going to talk to Pat in, of course, a few minutes' time about his superstar. But with the likes of the Ballymac Ariels of this world and Droopy's Curio, and there's so many unbelievable performers out there. Billy's Diva. She's going to be stepping into hot company. But I suppose the aim is to win another Oaks.
It is definitely so. Yeah, win another Oaks. Couldn't be anything better, I don't think, for a bitch.
As a man that's involved in dogs for so many years, you'll admit that the Oaks is a bit special. It's the one that those that are really entrenched in the sport really want to get play a part in.
Yeah, I've always wanted to win the Oaks. I think I won it with Skywalker Queen. Matt wanted to run Skywalker Queen in the Produce Stakes, but knowing like as he does that I really wanted to win the Oaks, he agreed to run it in the Oaks, and as you know, it won the Oaks and went on to win Dundalk International.
Yeah, very, very special lady indeed. Skywalker Barry, what's the plan?
His next big competition would be the Easter Cup. It was due to run in the Gold Cup, but it's been off for so long. Mark took it to the track on a Saturday before, and as you know, the weather in Ireland was freezing and the track was frozen. They had to salt it, they couldn't water it, so he very sensibly said, I'm not going to trial it, which meant it couldn't run, unfortunately, because it hadn't had a trial within the time limits.
Of course, 550 yards is the first time you'd have stepped up and trip. Have you any concerns, or is he one of those dogs where you think he's out front, he'll just keep going?
If he's out front, I think he'll keep going. I know Mark thinks that he'll be a good dog for the Irish Derby as well. He'll stay 550, okay.
Yeah, so you have 2 real prospects to look forward to in 2021. We'll be back to you in a few minutes' time, because we are going to talk to a man that captured the Oaks only a matter of months ago, and in a matter of a few months' time you have the chance to win the Oaks again. I won the Oaks, well, should I say my father won the Oaks 25 years ago, believe it or not, in 1995. Another Wexford man, Pat. That's where you hail from. You were always involved in the dogs. It was always around your family.
Yeah, my uncles had dogs ever since I can remember, on both sides of the family. Mum and Dad. I used to go over and walk him after school and give him a hand. What
part of Wexford are you from, Pat?
Enniscorthy.
Enniscorthy town itself?
Just under Vinegar Hill, yeah.
Oh, just under Vinegar Hill. You used to march up to the track with the bike, did you?
Yeah, I did indeed.
The track up the top of the hill, of course, that was where you grew up and had got your taste for the dogs, apart from going and watch your uncle's dogs and the likes.
Yeah, we used to walk around the hill there. You have to be on your A game just in case.
Yeah, if they take the arm off you if they wanted to go. Pat, for a while you've been furrowing ahead in your career as a top jockey. You're obviously over in Dubai. You go over most winters. What's the plan this year? You'll be back soon, and hopefully you get to see the dogs running.
Yeah, I'm here till the middle of April. I normally go home, but I don't know if I get home to see her at all, because normally when I get back we're busy. You're trying to sort out 2-year-olds and see what's what. We have a few horses for the classics this year as well. So
you're coming back for the trials, are you?
I will be, yeah.
Yeah, and before we go on to the dogs, anything we should be looking out for? What's your main hope for the year?
A horse called Shindit. He won his first 3 and obviously got beaten Newmarket his last run, but the ground was gone for him, and it was a messy race. He'll
want it top of the ground, middle of the summer.
He does faster the better for him. Yeah,
faster better, like the runway in the runway in Heathrow will be right up by the street.
Yeah.
Pat, tell us about Ballymac Beanie. We know we've all heard the backstory a little bit. You spoke to Barry Drake not too long ago about this lady. It helps that you have a bit of profile, because getting them out of Liam Dowling's not the easiest thing, but you also had a man on the inside, I believe.
Yeah, it was actually Damien Gleeson got it all up and running. He got me a number for Liam and I spoke to him and he gave us the choice of a few. And me and Alan spoke and we picked her, luckily enough.
Of course, it was easy enough to pick her, I suppose, out of Coulivanny Pet. She was an absolute superstar herself. As it happens, you picked the breeding. You chose her. Pastana subsequently emerged as one of the great tracks stars of the year here in Ireland. It didn't do her any harm in terms of future value as a brood bitch.
No, it surely didn't. And she looks like she has all these traits as well. So
yeah, she's an absolute ringer for him in terms of her racing style. That is the plan. You fancy breeding them in a little while.
Yeah, we've bought a few bitches now, so I think we got about 6 bitches there now coming along. So
and are you telling us that you're planning to retire home to Ireland soon, or is it all going to be Alan and Ciara doing the work?
At the moment, it's Alan and Ciara, but I do plan to go home once the kids are gone and everything else works out.
Yeah, move back to Wexford, or have you set your sights in more of a horsey area?
No, Wexford is. I like Enniscorthy dog track. It's quite handy and it's a good area.
Yeah, well, exciting times in Enniscorthy dog track. Their future champion on race stake is coming up soon. You don't have anything for it now, but the aim is in the future you'll have something good enough to go for the champions for all these top class on race stakes with sons and daughters of Ballymac Beanie.
Hopefully, yeah. A lot of people wanting pups over, so we just got to try and look after everyone.
Yeah, well, I won't tell them now off air. You promised me a dog and a bitch from the first litter. Fair play to you, Pat. You're a good lad. Because Damien did all the work now, has he been promoted to your commission agent? Is he your man on the ground?
I think he got more of a thrill over than me, actually. He was over here. I was out with him the other night, actually, going on about it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Thinking back to the night itself, obviously you knew she was very, very talented. You took the chance in putting her in the Oaks at such an early stage in her career. She was still very much a youngster. She's only just turned 2 years of age. She still qualifies for the likes of the Kirby Memorial and the Produce Stakes, and of course the Oaks would be a target. But you do plan to have her relatively lightly raced. You intend to send her to the breeding paddocks soon enough rather than in the distant future. But thinking back to that night in question, the Oaks, she had already established herself in a very, very quick spell of time as one of the true stars of the track here in Ireland. I think going into the race, the draw could have been better, but you were probably in a situation where you felt if she hit the lids, she was going to take some stopping. Yeah,
Declan always said that she was capable of hitting the lids, but luckily she'd done her best split on the night, or best split for the Oaks final, and she's a hard bitch. She stays as well, so she'd be a hard bitch to pick up.
Yeah, will you keep her to 525, or like are you looking down other avenues? Would you consider a Derby challenge later in the year or anything like that?
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan. So we're talking Kirby, Oaks, Derby. A nice travel.
Kirby is gone. She's in season, so she's going to miss the Kirby.
Okay. Well, the season actually coming at the right time then. If you weren't too concerned about taking in the Kirby, should be in perfect timing for the Oaks.
Yeah, should work out very good.
Yeah, indeed. You obviously didn't get to see it live. You stated that you watched it on the Twitter feed, delayed. Fresh and early in the morning, you were probably just out of the bed. How can you explain that experience? You know, were you still dreaming? Is that the way you felt, or?
Yeah, it was hard to. Obviously, I rang Alan straight once I found out. All he kept saying was, I can't believe it. So it was a massive thrill.
Did Alan manage to get to the track, or was he watching from home?
No, he was watching from home as well.
Yeah.
Lazy.
Yeah, it's not too lazy. I'm not sure about that now. He's a busy man himself, I'm sure. That's the future. The plan is to race her for this year, breed her perhaps maybe this time next year. Any more pups on the ground, or any more interest in getting more dogs in under your care?
Yeah, we've got, as just said earlier, we got 6 bitches there. We've got a bitch out of Cameo. We got a young bitch out of Bonnie. We've got Ballymac Orna. She's with Declan now as well. She'll be starting now in a month or two.
Yeah,
she looks pretty decent as well. So.
Well, you're doing well now to get to so many good ones out of Liam's. I think you'll be getting a few phone calls. Any chance you could buy one from Liam?
No, he's been in touch.
Yeah.
He's
go ahead.
He's said keep an eye. He wants me to organise a syndicate jockeys and hopefully buy a nice pup somewhere along the line.
Yeah, well, if you're going to be buying a nice pup, that's the right place to be buying them. It seems they're all conquering at present.
Yeah, it's a massive operation. Obviously, getting all the right results.
So all in all, Pat, the key is you want to get some good ones under your care. Perhaps breed them. It's all bitches you have at the moment. Any sign of a dog coming into the kennel?
Oh, I have a dog too with Jimmy Power. He's 1-2 from 3. He's called Peacock Patsy. Hopefully he runs at Shelburne on Friday night. He's A2 now, so he'll have to step up again, but he's not bad.
If the calendar works out, Pat, when do you think you manage to get back and see them actually in watching them live on the stands? Well, with the proviso that you're allowed into the track.
Yeah, it's hard in my job, Ian, because obviously we don't know where we're going 2 days before, so it's hard to make a plan. But I'm sure I'll get back at some point. Yeah,
so you're coming back in the middle of April, back to the UK, run the classics trials, hopefully win a classic or two in the middle. When are you heading back then to Dubai, or when do you normally make the journey?
We normally go back out in the middle of October then, so it's like 6 months here, 6 months back home.
Yeah, was indeed. You've a little way to go now to match Ray in terms of the classic winning status. Have you decided, are you going to go with a prefix, or are you just going to stick with what you have and stick with the names, or is there going to be a prefix down the line?
We're talking about having a prefix. Which one, I'm not sure yet. We haven't decided.
It depends how the classics go this year. You might adopt something like that, something that's been lucky for you.
Yeah. I'll probably leave that to Alan. He likes taking control.
He's very much the main man. He's the organizer at home, is he?
He's the money man. Yeah, he organizes all that.
The decision was to put Kira's name on the dog. Why so?
It wasn't my decision. That was Alan again. You see, we bought 2, and he put one in his name and one in Kira's name. So none of mine are on any of them.
Well, if she's going to be as lucky in the future, you might put them all under Kira's name.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll bring Ray back in at this point, lads. You're two men in a very fortunate position. Whereas, I've spoken to a couple of the owners that have had brilliant winners this year, and not so many prospects to come ahead next year. But in the form of Skywalker, Barry, and Scylla, Ray, you have two to really look forward to. Pat, you have, of course, Beanie, and it seems a few very, very well bred pups. I'll take the cameo pup off your hands for a small enough fee if you want.
No, money wouldn't buy her. She's a young at the moment. He's mad about her.
Yeah. And are they all with Declan Byrne apart from the one with Jimmy Power?
I've got 2 with Jimmy Power, and obviously Declan will get the bitches. Yeah.
He's going well, Declan. Obviously a man that's been there, done that, classic winning trainer, a shrewd individual, and doesn't give too much away.
No, so Damien, I've actually never met Declan, so I've only spoke to him on the phone a few times.
Yeah, he knows his way around the greyhound. Have no doubt about that. I'm sure that's the way Alan sees it too.
Yeah, him and his daughter Annie there, I think they do a great job.
Yeah. Ray, of course, you have young Mark now at the helm. You've had a few trainers over the years, but your successes with the O'Donovan family have been well noted.
Yeah. Matt, Francis and Jennifer, all good friends of mine at the time. Very sad when Matt passed on. I know that Jennifer's going to follow in his footsteps. Really good trainer. I follow all her dogs. But then again, with Mark, two juvenile derby wins. Pat Guilfoyle with Skywalker Logan won, everything went in, or practically, didn't it? Cambridge to Zarowich, 7 English derby. Couldn't stop winning. Yeah, broke track record at Limerick, broke track record at Nottingham. Been really lucky. I got Skywalker Canny coming back shortly. Do you remember Skywalker Canny, fastest debut in Ireland?
I do remember, yeah.
It broke its hock. It's been off for 9 months now, but that'll be coming back shortly. So if it comes back anything like it was before it broke its hock, got big things for that one, I think.
What would be seen as a successful year, Ray? Just to pick up a little bit of silverware, or just hope that the dogs go well through the year and hope for the best?
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, indeed so.
Yeah, indeed. I have to finish with Pat. Pat, I have to ask you a question. And I said I was going to ask an awkward one or two. If I was to give you the choice now of an Oaks victory on the back of a horse up down the Epsom Hill or up the hill in the Curragh, or one in Shelburne Park, which would you take?
Epsom for me.
Is that financial, or is it just it's
course,
the fact that you'll be on board?
Financial, of course. Then I can
Pat,
buy dogs.
then you can, well, listen, that's fair enough. Once you're going to put the money to a good cause. Listen, lads, thanks very much for speaking to us today. We wish you continued success, Pat, both on the tracks and with of course your own pursuits on the back of the horses. Hopefully you'll be a classic winner both in the horses and the dogs this year, and who knows, next year we might talk to you again this time next year about dual Oaks winner Ballymac Beanie. That'll be the thrill of a lifetime.
Surely, Woody. Thank you very much.
Ray, well done again on all the success over the last few years, and continued success to you. And I'm sure we'll definitely be talking to you in the future, because by all accounts, you're showing no signs of letting up your interest in the game.
Definitely not letting up here, that's for sure. Looking forward to the future.
Listen, lads, thanks very much for speaking to me today. And again, best of luck in the future.
Thanks, Ian.
Take care.
Yeah.